This is my 1983 MCI M9. This is my first posting of my RV conversion. I didn't post anything before I started demo because when I got it, it was demoed, or so I thought, but I've actually spent several weeks still demoing on the inside of what I thought was an empty bus. A lot of the side skins and areas like that were a ton of work to get off. Actually, I've probably ground off 150 bolts, probably 300 rivets. So I'll take you inside. You can see what I've been up to. So this is inside the bus. You can see on this side here, the wall skin is still intact. On top of that was a wood grain colored laminate material, and along the bottom was a aluminum rail that the seats attached to that had large 3/8 or 10 millimeter Phillips head bolts, of which every one had to be ground off. As you can see over on this side, I've got that panel off, and I've got a few areas that I'm having to do some repair on. You'll see right here, there's a rusted out section right there that I'm going to have to weld a new piece of hat channel in. I've cut it there. I've got some ordered and bent to match. I think I found 4 places on the bus. Here's another one that needs some steel repair work done. A little bit right there, you can see. And then back here, that's all on the same rail. I'm actually putting in a whole new rail on that piece. And then I have one more area right here near the back, right there, that needs to be replaced. Everything else on this side of the bus that I have torn apart is pretty solid. I've decided to get that side of the bus completely done, repaired. I need to replace some windows with panels. I've ordered the aluminum for that, and also the cross tubes to weld in once I pull the windows. But I've decided to get this side completely done and back together, as I've heard conflicting opinions on whether that interior panel with its 300 rivets is structural or not. And so I figured I would get that side completed and back together before I tear apart the other side. As you can see right here, here are some of these bolts that had to be ground off. This one here is one of the ones that I had to grind off. So now I'm still going to have to grind that off smooth to that tube. This is one of the 5 that actually came out. The rest had to be ground. And then you can see also these rivets. Every 3 or 4 inches, there's a rivet on every rail. And all of those have to be ground off in order to get that out. I have one area right here where the angle iron piece in the window is rusted, of which I'll need to replace. I've tapped and banged on everything else, and it actually feels pretty good. Those are the only spots that I've found. I've heard from other MCI owners that that is actually common, because they run the air conditioning up the side panel, and it creates condensation in that wall. They also put fiberglass insulation in there that's wrapped in a plastic sack. It collects water and moisture and then just sits there. Not a very great design, but you know, overall I only have those few areas to deal with, so I guess that's good. Up here along the top, everything is solid. So since I am going to get this side done, insulated, and put back together before I start the other side, I have to start with some wiring. And you'll see here I've decided to put all of my wiring in boxes and conduits. I'm actually going to install some small LEDs for my lights in all of these boxes. And so to each one of those boxes, I will run a switched wire, a power wire, and a ground wire. That way, if I ever need to add or adjust or change, I will have power to each one of these boxes, and I will also have switched power in each one of these boxes. I purchased some of these lights. These are the lights I'm going to be installing. And so I will simply drill a hole in the center of my paneling that I put on the ceiling, in the center of that box, and then snap this light in the center. I came out here at night, turned on several of these lights, and came to a determination of how many I would need. I decided I would rather have more lights than too few of lights, because I can always put them on a dimmer if they're too bright. And since they're only 3 watts per light, I can actually put almost 240 watts on a 20 amp 12 volt circuit. So I'm going to have 3 lighting circuits in the bus, which is way over what the math says, but I don't want to have a problem with tripping circuits. So anyway, that is where I am at on my bus, and when I get it done and ready to insulate this wall, I will do another posting. I've done some checking on buying the spray foam, and I had a guy come out and give me an estimate to do it. He's actually going to be a little bit cheaper than me buying the spray foam on my own, because since they have a big bulk machine and they buy it in 55-gallon drums, they get a better price than I can get. So I figure I will save the work and have that done. So until I get that wall ready to insulate, that's my bus project as of now.